Let's stay out west, talk some AD. Remember when AD said he hadn't picked up a basketball since April? I remember. You know who else remembers? Kevin Garnett. Take a listen to this.
If I'm talking to AD right now, bro, get lost. Go to Hawaii somewhere. Straight up and down. When you come into camp better in shape than anybody and everybody. That's what you should be focused on. You should go for the MVP for the 2022-23 season. Bro, he said he ain't touched a rock. I ain't gonna do that. But
touch a rock, AD, please.
Not even touch a rock. Go in the lab and get your right. There's no way he's probably not top 10, top 5 in this game. Come on, man. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna start getting heat. I feel myself sweating already.
All right, Broussard, you agree with KG?
100%. No, 1,000% I agree with KG. And look, I'll say, and we showed little clips of it, but if AD just reads the quote online, he's going to feel like KG was calling him out. But if he watches the full clip, not just parts of the full clip, he'll see KG was offering encouragement. KG was saying, look, man, you should be an MVP in this league, right? He said, I'm your OG. Like, he wasn't just dissing him, Jenna. He wasn't calling him out. He was encouraging him to be what, Nick, we all think he can be. So I think this was great. Hopefully he takes heed.
Listen, I agree with what KG said. I also think we're in a weird spot with Anthony Davis. So the 4 best big men in basketball, pick the order, but are Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, and Anthony Davis. Wilds. I am 37 years old. On the day of my 36th birthday, do you know what the lead of this show was? Is Anthony Davis Finals MVP? He had just had back-to-back 32-point finals games. In the context of having just beat Joker, yeah, that's true story. October 3rd, 2020, it was the day after he had a second straight 30-point finals game. Game 2. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm 37. It was on my 36th birthday we did that show.
Nick loves the
Giannis had just lost.
More than anything.
No, it's just the fact. And I knew if I put it like that, Wilds would feel differently. Because when I say the bubble, it messes with his brain. But this will crystallize it for him. On the day I turned 36, Embiid had just gotten swept in round 1. Giannis had just lost in round 2 in awful fashion to Miami. And Anthony Davis had just annihilated Joker and put up back-to-back 30-point finals games. The general feeling on that moment was he's the best big man in basketball. And now he is a forgotten soul almost. So I agree with KG. He can get back there. It was not that long ago. So, yeah, he's just got to put the work in and get a little luckier health-wise.
I mean, granted. Yeah, I mean, it was 5 years ago. So I don't know if your birthday was, you went into like one of those like chambers where you fall asleep, you pop back out. But it was a long time ago. I obviously want AD to be his, best self. The other thing I just can't, before we go to break, Jenna, the use of get lost as a compliment from KG, I'm going to use from now on. It's like, man, get lost. Go to Hawaii and train. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, get lost. I knew very thing. Get lost. Go to Hawaii.
It's true. No, I went back a little bit. Time to run the fast break, though, not to be lost in all the Brooklyn drama. The Utah Jazz doing some wheeling and dealing, reportedly sending Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves for a boatload, getting back 4 first-round picks for the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, as well as fan favorite, sort of, Patrick Beverley, who tweeted after news of the trade that it's time to take another team to the playoffs. You do you, Pat Bev. Utah also getting 3 other players. It seems like a lot. Nick, do you like Minnesota going all out to get Rudy Gobert? All out.
No. Hey, listen, I'm not prone to hyperbole, but this is the single most egregious overpay in NBA history. And I would say sports history, but I'm not quite certain of the biggest trades in the history of the NHL. So we'll just keep it to the NBA. There are a few so I want to make it clear. Kessler Edwards was the 22nd pick of the draft a couple weeks ago. So that's a first-round pick. They then traded 4 other first-round picks, 3 of which are unprotected. So it's essentially 5 first-round picks and a swap. And I'm going to show you 2 telltale signs, Brew, that this was an egregious overpay. The first one is the fact that Ainge, and credit to Jenna's guy, Danny Ainge, he now has, he has this bounty of picks that he can always pretend he's going to trade one day for a star player. It's exactly the world he wants to be in. But he did a great job with this trade. But you know how the Timberwolves overpaid? The fact that the Jazz were able to squeeze that 2026 pick swap out of them. I have respect for the people now running the Timberwolves, but did they think the Jazz were going to walk away from the deal if they wouldn't give them that swap? It's like, all right, we're going to give you 4 firsts, 4 players, but I don't want to give you the swap. And Ainge was like, you got to include the swap or I'm out of here. Not doing it. They're like, okay, give him the swap. Like, what? You know how I also know that this was an overpay? Let me show you a headline and a sub-headline from an article that doesn't even have a listed author. Minnesota sends a steep package, including 5 players and 5 picks. That is from the NBA's official website. So the league, in an unauthored article, just for the Adam Silver's league office is like, we got to write this up. How do we describe it? Can we call it the most egregious overpay in NBA history? We are NBA.com. What about a steep package? Guys, Brew, had they traded 1 first-round pick and those players, here's what I would be saying. I mean, I guess for that price, you got to do it, but I don't know basketball-wise if this will work. I don't know. Is Anthony Edwards going to have to score 38 points per game? Is he going to have a usage rate of 40? I don't know basketball-wise if it will work, because now you're going to play Gobert and Towns together at all times. They're both making $40 million a year. That's odd to me. But from a franchise building perspective, to trade 3 unprotected picks, this year's first-round pick, and a 2029 top 5 protected, it's just unfathomable. It's unfathomable they did this.
I don't hate it nearly as much as you do. Look, Nick, look at it this way. If Utah had kept Gobert and in some type of trade they add Karl Anthony Towns, I think a lot of people would be saying, watch out for the Jazz. The Jazz were contenders, sort of, right? They certainly were a great regular season team with just Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Now, I think Anthony Edwards he's like a bigger version of Donovan Mitchell. I got Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. So I think they're going to win more than 50 games next year. And I'm not ready to say they're a contender because I think their main guy, Edwards, is still young. But I think this improved them. They're a small market team, Wilds. They're not going to be a free agent destination. And they did give up a lot. Nick is right. But I think they got better. And look, you can play Towns and Gobert together because Towns is a terrific three-point shooter. Terrific. Defensively on the perimeter,
I know,
with Gobert in the playoffs, we'll see. That's been a problem in Utah. But they had trouble protecting the rim, Wilds, and they were horrible at that. They answered that with Gobert. I think they got much better.
I think they got slightly better. In the regular season, of course, but come playoff time, we see, go small. Rudy Gobert, the defensive player of the year, is a liability. And meanwhile, Karl Anthony Towns, I know he's a great three-point shooter, but he does fall in love with that. And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, buddy, you're 7 feet. Can you just get down there? Like, well, and I can't anymore. Rudy Gobert is down there. But I want to talk about, Nick, my guy, who is still currently on the Utah Jazz, hasn't asked out, even though he has spent his entire summer in the Greenwich, Westchester area. He's been going to Rangers games. He's been going to Nets games. He's been going to Chris Brickley's run.
Nets.
But he has not asked out. So I ask you, why would Donovan Mitchell not ask out of the Utah Jazz? Why? Is it because of the All-Star game? Like, do we really think that's it? Because I cannot close the book on Donovan Mitchell to the metropolitan area when it's obvious that Utah is looking for toward the future?
To the metropolitan area. So are you opening up, as you would say, the aperture to the Brooklyn Nets being a piece of this? That's interesting. Here's the thing. I think Ainge is going to trade Donovan. I do not think right now it is more likely than I think it is more likely than not, however, that the trade happens either at the deadline or in this coming off season than right now. I do think the All-Star game is a piece of that. I also think that all these trades now, Jenna, are going to be skewed a bit by this drastic overpay. Like the Jazz got such a steep price for Donovan Mitchell that every other trade's going to be judged against it, and it's going to be hard for anybody to trade for a star. They got such a steep price for Gobert, pardon me. That when you get 5 first-round